Let it Let it
Hello. Come on in. We're waiting for you. 33 of you coming in. Come on while I'm eating my Lorna Doones. Hello. Hello, Dominique. Lydia Cordova. God is good, huh? Noemi. Good evening, my solutions. Yeah, you can tell we're on the 29th day. My solutionist admin. My producer extraordinaire, Ebony. Good evening, Pastor Dolores. And happy birthday. Hey. What you know? Chevelle, Bianca, Ronnie Bonner, Camisha, Carmen Ortiz, Tasha. All right, Camisha said she's got the best seat in the house. Anybody going to challenge that? Donna, Brittany, Leah, good evening. Crystal and Anna. Vanessa and Prudence, Rochelle, Coach Maria. Good evening, Renee. Gwen Molden. Good evening, Camille. Cora, Cheryl Johnson. Raisha, Kareem. We're up to 50. Brenda Beery. Kingdom Health Connections. Bessie in the house. Cheryl Johnson. Come on, she's claiming it. Good evening, Emmanuel. Patricia Wilson. Special. Get down, Cora. Hello, Misha. Elitza, one of my coaches. She's doing a lot of teaching and training on the prophetic in here as a coach. People have expressed an interest, and I have the laborers. So she's training people one-on-one in the prophetic. If you like that more than a group setting, check her out. Audrey, good evening. Oh my God. Is Ebony fighting me over there? Good evening, Jerry. Good evening, Joelle. Keisha, Rhonda, Bettina, Tasha, Lisa. Yes, Keisha. I'll let you hold the cookie, Dominique. Good evening, Cherie. Erica, Nanita. Natasha. Did y'all see Pastor D profile page with that hat? I said, oh, we get grown. Folks get a couple days off of church and trying to backslide. Charlene. Bianca. Swift ties in the house. Oh, I've never heard that before, Cheryl Johnson. Thank you. I've never heard that before. Karen, Graceland, good evening. Chantil, Gwyneth Douglas, my brother, my main man, Rodney. Welcome, my brother. God bless you. Pam. We now have emojis on YouTube. Really? Hit the emojis on the side of your screen, YouTubers. That's from our administrator, Ebony. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Phyllis. Come on, we're up to 73. I'm ready to get started. If you're ready to get in here, let's go ahead and like and share. Who do we need to go ahead and share this to? Like and share. Come on, let's go. Come on in with the table is spread and the feast of the Lord's going on. Come on in. Come on, when we hit 80, we'll sing happy birthday to Pastor D. Her in that fly hat. And that's right, Gwyneth Douglas. Happy birthday, Evangelist Gwen. Come on, we're at 74. Come on, please hit like and share. Share it to someone in your SMS messages. Send them an email. Send them a messenger link. We have 2 birthday girls in here tonight. Come on, let's get the numbers up so we can get into our business. We have some business to attend to. I think I'm going to throw a bonus one in tomorrow night. Good evening, Sylvia. Mike Rose. We're almost there. Ubi. Damien, he's so committed. Hello, silent killer. Come on, we're at 77. Let's get it to 80 so we can sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. $78. $709. Come on, let's get moving here. Nick Otero. Hello, good evening. The men are coming in. Cupcakes are up on the screen. Happy birthday cakes are up on the screen. Celebratory emojis. Y'all didn't expect me to get in here already. That's why y'all lingering in. Putting food in your mouth and working your way in. I had an appointment for Peyton at 5 o'clock. I wasn't sure I was going to make it back home and on time. But it all works out. 79. 80. Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Pastor D and Evangelist Gwen. Happy, happy birthday to you. Come on, y'all. I don't know what other things I got to play. I forget. I know I got drums and some kind of funky music. But that music and Pastor D had, I'm not too sure. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Y'all are fine wine. Don't let the devil lie to you. You are fine wine. Some of us wish we could be that fine at that age. Go, ladies, that young age. Come on, let's talk about it tonight. Let's talk about it tonight. I might throw a blessing in tomorrow night, pretty much just to help you eliminate excuses after these 30 days. I want to help you eliminate some excuses. If there's anyone who would like to get on live with us tonight, we will have some time for that. If so, you need to put that in the post, and you need to be on a desktop computer. Unfortunately, the app StreamYard doesn't allow it from telephones and such. So you'll need to be coming from a desktop or have the ability to get into a desktop like now, so you can be ready and Ebony can pull you in before we leave. You can just share your takeaway from these 30 days. Tomorrow we'll do it live. For those that do not have a desktop, you'll have a chance tomorrow night to do it live. But for those who are not local, or those who are not going to be there tomorrow night, or you just rather be on the computer tonight instead of in person, come on tonight. If there's anyone that would like to share a takeaway or a testimony, a thank you, if you want to wish us well for these 30 days, we would love to hear from you. Just post up in the chat, say, I'd like to be on live. And Ebony will begin to chat with you on the side, and we'll make room for you to come on maybe the last 10 minutes of the show tonight. Good evening, Elder Connie. Yes, we're singing happy birthday to Pastor D and Evangelist Gwen. Welcome, family. All right, let's get started. And I hope we'll have someone that wants to come on in tonight. Again, I want to thank everyone for booking their appointments. Y'all are booking those sessions left and right. How smart. Very smart people here. You don't want it to end with that. And I want to thank those who give by Cash App every night for sowing into the ministry. I want to thank Dr. Vanessa. I want to thank Candy, Brittany, Tara, Elitza, Carmen Jones, Maria Cameron, Okita, and I think some of the rest are Taylor Morgan, Audria, Brittany, Chevelle, Leah, if I didn't say that already, Crystal Green, Thomasina, Miss, Cam Jackson, Rodney, Lydia. Y'all all have just blessed tremendously. And I just want to thank you for your giving that has come from your own heart. And God honors it, and he's going to bless it. Even though you didn't give for that, he's going to bless it. Amen. All right, so let's talk tonight. We've worked our way up to chapter 8, but we want to talk tonight. And I want to just give you some ideas for those that are going to continue on with this work, either with us, through making some session appointments with us, maybe pursuing a therapist. You know what? Maybe I want to ask that now so that I don't forget. Is there anyone on here that is going to pursue therapy? You're going to go see a professional. Is there anyone on here that's going to go see a professional now that you've learned some things about yourself? And the wonderful thing about Soul Detox, whatever it is that our theme is, people learn way more than that about themselves. You know, they'll learn their locus of control and say, I want to stop being such an extreme external thinker. I want to stop blaming things on them and it and event and situations. And I want to start taking some control over my life because I didn't believe I had any control. I was never taught that I had any control from a childhood. I would come in the room and told to be silent. I would come home and be told that children are seen but not heard. I would walk into a room and no one would look up and even acknowledge my presence. I don't know how to be me in this world. So everything to me is based on the world. The world told me to be silent. The world told me I wasn't anything. The world told me that my grades weren't good enough. The world told me that through my teachers that I wasn't this, or through my parents, they told me this, or the fact that I was not acknowledged told me that I was nothing. So now as an adult in this world, I don't know where to go from here or what to do. So I'm just wondering, is there anyone here that is going to newly seek professional counseling? And if so, just put it up there if you're not embarrassed. We're in the detox room. Good. Very good. Thank you for your honesty. Is there anyone that thinks that they really want to start here at So Detox? Yes, Chantel. Good. You can definitely progress in therapy. Very good. Good, good. I see your names. I'm not going to call you out. Very good. There's 4 of you I see coming on here now. 5, 6. That's 7. That's going to continue with us. Very good. And some are going for professional counseling. Awesome. Absolutely. Go ahead, Chantel. Tell them. It is. It opens you up to so much more. Because we're able to have the conversations and share the language that professionals under the government's license and the government's control, they can only do and say so much. See, we're not under that. We're not controlled by the government. We're not controlled by the insurance. So we don't have those issues. You don't have to stay in counseling with us for years. I was watching a comedy about cognitive behavioral therapy. I don't know if y'all have Apple TV, maybe on some other shows too. Sometimes they show up on other channels, but it's called Shrinking. And I was looking at it today, and they're making light of it, and that's healthy to do as well. But the guy was saying he could do so much more for people if he could stop with the methods and actually just tell them straight up. He was meeting in the break room with 2 other therapists, and he said, we have the answers. We have the answers. Why can't we give them the answers? See, in So Detox, we can do that. Can't diagnose you. If there's something that's a disorder, we're going to refer you. 100% we're going to refer you. And we're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure that you go that route. That's not a route that I'm interested in. I love what I do now. I absolutely love it. I love the level that I'm at. I'm not seeking anything any more than that because I do have other realms and mantles and spheres that I work in as an apostle that has to be covered as well. So I'm delighted where I am and what I do. But in this comedy, he was saying he had the answers, and it was showing like the true why you can't give people the answers. And it was showing the positive. And he finally told this woman, he said, your husband is abusive. He's verbally abusive and he's emotionally abusive to you, and you need to leave him. He just stood up in the middle of a session. How long are we going to go through this? Let's just say her name was Karen. How long are we going to go through this, Karen? He said, you aren't stupid. You are worth more than your boob job. And your husband can't see it because he doesn't appreciate you, because he needs to be in this chair. And he said, he doesn't love you. Karen, who wakes up and says, you're dumb. If it wasn't for your boob job, I wouldn't be with you, but I love you. Karen, he doesn't love you. Leave your husband, Karen. And she sat there. He was having a breakdown, obviously, because as a therapist, you cannot do that. You can't even do that as a mental health coach. And she said, it's not that easy. And he said, it is that easy. It's that easy. And that's what scares you, because it's that easy. Get up and leave him. And lo and behold, she ended up getting up and leaving him. She moved with her. And he even told her, you can live with your sister in her house until you get back on your feet. She ended up moving with her sister, and she was still calling in for her sessions and telling him how much of a good time she was having at life and enjoying her time with her sister and all the things she was doing. And she wasn't waking up feeling stressed out. But then lo and behold, he's at a game for his daughter's soccer or whatever it was. And her husband, who he told her to leave, shows up and knocks him right out, punches him right in the face. I'm paying you and you told my wife to leave me. So that's the downside of it. And that's why even with mental health coaching, this part doesn't get talked about a lot. I guess this is where I'm entering our zone now. I'm entering the room. This is the part that we don't talk about a lot, is that there is a confidentiality. There's a confidentiality in our sessions. And the confidentiality isn't just on the therapist's part. the confidentiality also resides on the client or the patient. Patient if you're seeing a therapist, client if you're seeing a coach. There is a mutual confidentiality. Sometimes your therapist or your coach will share or indulge some personal business or stories about theirs, and you are supposed to keep that sacred. It is a confidential relationship. It's a safe place. And oftentimes, some of the advice or counsel or therapeutic therapeutic homework, or sometimes the therapeutic assignments that your therapist may give you, you're not to let your spouse, your children, anyone know what you're working on, because they're looking for real-time responses from you and how you feel in answering the assessments and going through the questions. So oftentimes they don't want you to pull your husbands and aunts and uncles and friends. Don't even tell your girlfriends about what's going on in your therapy sessions, because it is a mutual respect for your counselor. So we pretty much know that people are not going to do that, but that is really how the relationship is supposed to work. It is a therapy, and coaching is a covenant relationship. So it requires some sanctity to it, some protection of the relationship. Because if your coach or your counselor, your therapist ever says anything to you to make you think outside of the normal sphere in which you think in, you could hurt family, friends, and loved ones. And all they're doing is just challenging your thinking. They're not telling you what to do. We're not allowed to do that. As coaches, we can advise, but we cannot tell you what to do. And many times people will come in to therapy or mental health coaches and say, well, what do you think I should do? And that's not where we go. But what we can do is to help you think, well, what is it that you would like to do? What is it that you really want to do, but you're afraid to do it? So let's find out how we can reach the middle now and work our way towards the direction of what it is you want to do. And the direction that you want to go, is that really what you want to do? Or is it how you're feeling now because you're so overtaken by this fault, if you will? You're so overtaken by this poor coping mechanisms, or this external or completely internal locus of control where you're blaming yourself for everything. You know, it's a therapeutic session because we get to talk it out. It's private and it's confidential, but the confidences runs on both ends. You're not supposed to go and tell people things that your therapists have shared with you, especially if they're challenging your thinking or have given you any work that's called an extension of the office visit. It's a mutual covenant relationship. And most people don't know that because we only talk about the coach can't share my business. The pastor can't share my business. The minister cannot share my business. My mental health coach cannot share my business, and neither can the therapist. And that is 100% true. But there is a covenant on the other end to protect the therapist. So lo and behold, going back to the show that I told y'all I watched today, she went and told her husband, and my therapist told me to leave you. And when she told him, he came and he beat up the therapist because you told my wife to leave me, which is a second reason why you should not tell family what's going on, because, you know, things like that really do happen. As a pastor, I've had people try to threaten me. I've had people, husbands, try to threaten me. It happens. You know, people, they want to blame something external. And whenever a spouse comes in, especially a husband, and they accuse you because you're a woman pastor and you're counseling their wife and their wife wants to leave you, they assume through misogynist thinking, insecurity, mother issues, whatever the line of continuum it is on, they assume because I'm a woman that I am co-signing or urging her or edging her on in some supportive way to leave her spouse. And biblically, that's not what I support. As a married woman, that's not what I support. As a pastor, that's not what I support. I don't support anyone leaving anyone. Please understand that. Even for fears, for someone stepping out, I don't promote divorce over that. We talk about it and we find out what's best for you. I give the biblical reasons and the biblical examples, but my opinion in it doesn't matter because every single human being is different. So that means every single marriage out there is different 2 times because you have 2 people that are completely different from you that are in that marriage as well. So just understand that that is a mutual, respectable, and private and confidential place, even for your coach, your therapist. You're supposed to protect that conversation with them. But lo and behold, he's just started telling all his clients about themselves. He just boom, 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 boom. And he started getting into a lot of trouble, and I have to wait till next week to show the next one. But they made light of the humor. But the point that I wanted to bring out was, he said, we have the answers. We know why she has the compulsive disorder, and we know why he can't stand up and speak for himself, and we know why this one won't leave the house, and we know why this one needs to leave her husband, but she won't. We have the answers, but we can't share them. We're not under that same mandate. Not that we would do it that way anyway. We're not under that same mandate. So I love what I do. I'm glad to see that some of y'all are going to further your mental health and your wellness care going with us. We're going to have so much stuff in place this year that for those of y'all who are still not ready, and that's completely understandable, that are still not ready, we are going to be here a couple times a week anyway. I may go back. I don't know how many of y'all remember. I used to do 7:50 a.m. every morning. And I would come on for a soul session. And I think we called it soul second or seconds, or what was it, Ebony? And I would come on in the mornings and just stick with a theme all week. And every morning at 7:50 a.m. while you're driving to work, for some of you, I would give you some input on, let's just say our theme for the week was defense mechanisms. I would every morning give about 5 to 7 minutes on defense mechanisms. So we may be able to do that as well. Look at Pastor D. Minute motivations. We may do that again to reinforce this work that we've done. But we are here. I'd love to speak with all of you. I'm available. My coaches are available. We would like to do some retreats and some breakfasts and some lunches, just some things to keep the momentum going forward. Some of y'all families have got involved. Husbands have gotten involved. Children have gotten involved. I'm hearing about grandchildren that have gotten involved. And we don't want to stop this work and let it drop. So if there's one thing I will ask from everyone on here, it would be, again, we do this every year, and we ask, and we can kind of tell from the analytics, but what are some good days? If you could pick 2 days a week, what are some good days, some days that you think you would be able to get on with us for 2 nights a week of So Detox? What would be those 2 good days that are good for you during the week? Put it up on the screen. Pick 2 days out of our 7-day week. My home church, the Apostles' House, they want us to turn Bible study into So Detox through scripture. I don't know what they're trying to do to me. But this is how hungry people are. They're hungry to see what it was that God intended for the holistic man and woman. I see a lot of Sundays and a lot of Wednesdays. Okay, Ebony's going to write those days down, and we're going to look at the majority. And of course, we will also go by our analytics and see what days were the highest for people to log in. I know Mondays are always the highest. People, I guess, are home on Mondays. People enjoy Mondays. Monday's supposed to be my only day off. So it's hard for me, but I'm willing to do a Monday, and I'll just take a different day off. Because, pastors, we work Saturdays and Sundays. Good. Well, we're going to be here. And our contact information will be on the screen tonight. You can even call us. You can text us, that same number. It's private. No one else gets to see it. And we just make ourselves available for you. So I want to thank God for everyone in here whose soul is being healed. I want to thank God for everyone in here whose mind has been renewed. I want to thank everyone in here whose heart is pumping afresh again. And I want to thank God for the healing that has taken place in our bodies, from the crown of our head to the soles of our feet. I want to thank God for the newness of being able to love again, to love ourselves again, to love God and to love our neighbor. I want to thank God for giving us the ability to care about ourselves, to be willing to put in this time for 30 days. While we're at this point in talking tonight, post on the screen for me, how many days out of these 29 days have you done? Have you done 29 days, 15 days, 20 days, 28 days? Put on the screen the numerical number that you had committed to or was able to commit to for these 29 days that we have so far. Look at you guys. Oh my God, look at my husband. 30 more days, really, honey? You're really gonna co-sign that? Really? I want to see your face. You need to come in this room and tell me that. I don't believe you saying 30 more days. Look at y'all. Y'all are up there. Wow. Lydia Cordova, you rock. You amazed me. I don't think you've been on in years past, have you? Is this your first year? Daniel Woodard, at work, 29 days. Look at Phyllis. Come on, Phyllis. 10 is a good number. Destiny, full 29. Come on, Lasonia. I'm proud of you. Noemi, look at y'all. Carmen, she said, I can do every night. Chantel said she's proud of herself. Bless him, Chantel. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to change them drums. I'm going to put in some church music. Who wants 30 more days? Look at my husband being an agitator on Facebook. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. Yeah, you better stay down the other end of the house because, brother, you start something, you start being mad. I'm at work now, full 28 days. Right, Ebony, 30 days. Thomasine, you did 28? Because I've been watching for y'all. Y'all know it. Come on, Yvonne Ramos. Look at Damien. Look at Candy. I'm so proud of y'all. It's a celebration. I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all just make me tear up. All right, let's talk for a little bit tonight. And let's see. I'll figure out what else I want to do. And whatever I forget, I'll make sure it's done on tomorrow night. So let's talk. We're on chapter 8. All right, Ronnie Bonner. This was the least attendance you had, and you will not do that again any other year. How to overcome defense mechanisms through therapy. How to overcome defense mechanisms through therapy. You don't need to know all the fancy names for this or that defense. You don't need all of the clinical terms, the medical terms, the psychological terms. You don't need big words for anything other than knowledge to show your level of intellectual education or edumacation. Intellectual understanding will only take you so far. There are so many people that have intellectual understanding, intellectual enlightenment, and no application in their life. They've completed school, they received certificates and degrees, and there's absolutely no application in their lives. So intellectual understanding will only take you so far. Do not get caught up in the hype. The key is learning to recognize your defense mechanisms, sticking with our title. The moment they begin through automatic processes, the moment they begin to fall into play, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be on these 30 days when we're finished on tomorrow. The key is learning to recognize your defense mechanisms, the reason you employ them. And believe me, you are more aware now than you were 29 days ago. You are way more aware. How many of y'all have recognized some of them already? Some of y'all learned you've been passive aggressive. Who am I talking to in here tonight? A lot going on in the chat room. I love what I'm reading. But the tricky thing about psychological defense mechanisms is that they are, generally speaking, unconscious. Unconscious. And this is the part where a lot of Christians don't like when we say, but I'm human. Oh, is that excuse? Some people are so legalistic in their faith that they don't like the term that I'm human. But I'm sorry, we are. Take it up with God. He made us that way. And he was there to see and witness the curse that came after the fall. So he knows exactly how fallen we really are. Come on, Special. She said, I am so much more aware. Kamisha said, I have been passive. This teaching me to really listen. Come on, Cora. Gwyneth said she's learning to recognize them. Cora says she's wanting and needing more of this. I am more aware, says Renee on YouTube. I'm learning to listen and recognize my defense mechanisms. Elder Connie has her hand up. I'm with you, Minister Bernard. Apostle, I would do 30 more days. Sharita on YouTube. Yes, yes. Carmen on Facebook says she needs more. Prudence says, thank you, Lord. Yeah, it's being able to recognize the behaviors. That's half the battle. You're out of denial. You are out of denial. So now you have to accept the fact that a lot of these psychological defense mechanisms happen to you unconsciously. It's automatic behavior. So how do you make the unconscious conscious? That's a powerful line right there. That's probably what I should have titled this tonight. How do you make the unconscious conscious? Hello, Pastor Yashika. All right, Joelle, that's exactly what I usually prescribe for all of my clients, to go back to day one. And if you can only do one a week, you've got enough to last you throughout the year. Journal, take your notes. If you do one every other week, so that you can actually begin to watch for denial over those next 2 weeks before you take the next step. Very good, sir. You're going to do well. You're going to do well. You have the right attitude right from the beginning. So how do we make the unconscious conscious? Defense mechanisms tend to disrupt two essential life areas. Defense mechanisms tend to disrupt two essential life areas: intimate relationships and careers. Intimate relationships and careers. Can anyone co-sign that? We're talking about how to make the unconscious behaviors conscious, especially because defense mechanisms, and I'll tell you straight out, you can go back and watch me. I've been doing this for 7 years. I believe since 2017. You can go back and watch, and I've been saying the same thing for these 7 years, that soul issues, you can be at such a good flight altitude. You could be on autopilot, on cruise control down the highway, but get a relationship, get a job and or promotion, and those soul issues are going to show up like bad kids that don't want you to get a life. Soul issues will show up to disrupt promotion, advancement, change. All of that includes job and love relationship. They show up and they have tantrums like little kids that don't want you to further your education or don't want you to no longer be a house mommy and go get a job. They will show up. So defense mechanisms tend to disrupt two essential life areas: intimate relationships and career. And again, I want to make a star right there. I want you to write in your books: soul issues, period, will disrupt those two areas of your life. If job after job and or relationship after relationship keeps fizzling for no apparent reason, this suggests you are likely getting in your way. I'm going to say that right there. You are more than likely getting in your way, period. And then we're going to say being defensive because we're dealing with that for this month. But I want you to know, if you're having job after job, relationship after relationship, you are getting in your own way. There is positively, definitely some self-sabotage going on in your life. Even if it's not you that's causing the problems, but you're connecting with the wrong people and ended up in wrong relationships. But since we're dealing with ourselves tonight, let's just stick with the text. That you are getting in your own way through self-sabotage if you keep going from job to job and relationship to relationship. Something's not connecting. Another way to recognize your defense tendencies is to pay attention to the feedback of those closest to you. First, you have to be able to accept the feedback. How many of y'all think you're a little better this month at accepting feedback from people than you were in months prior? Let me see some hands. Very good, Yvonne. 23 days. Yeah, we get in our own way. The things that I get upset that I haven't completed, there was no one to blame but me. Even if someone said something that really just made me just say, well, why bother? That was still me that caused it to drop, not to happen, for it to be aborted. Just because someone said something didn't mean that I had to not complete my assignment, especially when we say God gave it to us. How dare we? Yeah, I'm seeing all your hands. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty. I see you. We're getting in our own way. And according to the theme that we're working on for this month, we're getting in our own way being defensive. And another way to recognize our defense tendencies is to pay attention to the feedback of those closest to you. Please give me feedback, right? That's what we should be saying, please. And if we're sensitive, and we've talked about people who are very sensitive, and it's because they'd have so much blame and shame and guilt put on them growing up. Don't be embarrassed of it. Come from that embarrassment. Come from among them. Come from among that embarrassment and say, look, I'm still a little sensitive. I'm raw. You can tell them I've been in a 30-day soul detox program and I'm a little raw. So I'm a little sensitive. But can you give me some feedback? If I give you this list of 20 highly researched defense mechanisms, can you tell me which ones you see for me? Is there any that you've seen that are like more prominent than the others? But go easy on me. Let people know I'm a little sensitive. I'm a little raw. I just came out of a 30-day detox and it was like looking in the mirror at an angle I've never known about myself before. Be open to feedback. But, choose wisely. Go to mature people. Don't go to people that have an axe to grind or a hole to dig for you to fall in it. But you want feedback. And then we can't judge the feedback. We can't judge it. We cannot judge it. You cannot judge it and pick on the person because they gave you feedback that you didn't feel was real or you didn't feel was honest or you felt they had an issue with you. You chose them. We're talking about choosing people. So your habitual defense mechanisms are likely apparent to everyone but you. And this is why I want you to go to people. Because your habitual defense mechanisms, the one you do without even noticing that you're doing it, they are apparent to everyone but you. So think about it. You're in a room with 10 people and you're trying your best to show your best side, your best behavior, your best poise. You're trying to hide those defensive issues that you have when 10 people in the room already know it. I promise you they do. I promise you they do. They may not know all of them, but they know the ones that they have experienced with you. You know why? Because defense mechanisms are automatic. They're automatic. You have to work really hard to turn them off, but you don't have to do anything to turn them on. You could oversleep and it's happening. Someone could say good morning to you. You had something else on your mind. Someone could shun you in an elevator or not hold a door for you. It could be anything. You could fail a test, or a teacher could not want to hear your story right now. It could be anything. Your husband doesn't answer the phone or the text, or your wife didn't have dinner ready when you came. It can be anything. Defense mechanisms are automatic. So to turn them off takes a lot of work. And there's no one on this earth that can cover defense mechanism, poor coping skills, all of the time. So the closest people around you have experienced your poor coping skills, your levels of denial, your passive aggressiveness, your repression, your regression. Come on, name some. What's some of your defense mechanism? What are some of your poor coping skills, which we defined this month as maladaptive defense mechanisms or maladaptive coping? What are some of yours? Put them on the screen. Let them demons flee and tremble tonight. We went through 20 of them. Yeah. And I remember, I'm looking for 3. I want y'all to be able to rattle off the 3. Silence. Oh, silence came up at the same time from one person on YouTube and someone else on Facebook. And that someone else is our special Susie Wright. God bless you, beautiful woman. Denial. Yeah. Avoidance, silence, all of them. So they're habitual. It takes too much work to turn them off. No one's that good. Even on drugs or anesthesia, you can't turn them off. They're going to show up. So when your loved ones suggest you may be stuck, and especially if you find their feedback distressing or offensive, it's worth taking a step back to reevaluate. Take a step back to reevaluate. Good. I'm reading all of you. Facebook, YouTube. Come on. Take a step back and reevaluate. If you find their feedback distressing or offensive, you can still use it. I teach my leadership that criticism is the condiment to your hot dog or hamburger. You need that criticism. A defense mechanism is a learned self-protection device. Did you hear me? A defense mechanism is a learned self-protection device. They called you out, Marissa. I didn't see you, but Jerry sure did. A defense mechanism is a learned self-protection device. It's automatic. Come on, put it on the screen. It's automatic. We do need criticism. Doesn't feel good, but we need it. It's automatic. It's knee-jerk. The key to letting go of these insecure habits is to become more secure. Yeah, it's automatic. Type it. Get it out. What you write sticks with you longer. And then I want you to write after that, I want to become more secure. I want to become more secure. That's the key. That's the key. Becoming more secure. And true security is attained by becoming more self-aware. More self-aware. I wish I had the book here. I wrote the book on it. And more mindful. Pretty much goes hand in hand. Before you can accept yourself as you are, You first have to see yourself as you truly are. Before you can accept yourself as you are, you first have to see yourself as you truly are. And that can be troublesome. Did we ever go live on Instagram? I don't think we ever did. Sorry, Instagram, we didn't go live on y'all tonight. Thank you, Apostle Marie. Bless you, G. Marie. We've been talking here for about 45 minutes and didn't go live on Insta. Good evening, Kamo. Legendary Des. You're stubborn at times? Yeah. So just pretend we're on a call right now, Joelle. I want to talk to you for a moment. Joelle, when do you tend to be most stubborn? What is it that someone does that triggers that stubbornness in you? And I know you're probably going to think it's all the time. It's just the way you are. It's the way you were born, or your family might say it's in the family line. But let's talk for a moment, me and you. When do you tend to be triggered to be stubborn? Yep, it's automatic. I don't think Joel came back around yet, so I'm going to keep going. There he goes. When someone tries to tell me the truth about what and how I'm acting. Okay, Joel, let's keep going now. You with me, Joel? I want us to keep going. When someone tries to tell me the truth about what and how I'm acting. So that's your situation. When someone tries to tell you the truth about what and how you're acting, you tend to go stubborn on them. What is it that you think in your mind when someone tries to tell you the truth about you or how you are acting? What is it that comes in your mind immediately? Because I know there's a feeling, there's a sensation with it as well. Can you grab that thought? Can you think back in your memory on a particular time? I wish we had him on the line. Someone said they didn't like when they get controlled. I get upset and know or think I'm right. Okay. So, sir, have you ever been told before that you're not right? Have you ever been told that you're not smart or you don't know the answers? This would be a good live to do right now. Absolutely. How far back does it go in your life? Does it go back to childhood, adolescence, preteen, teen? When would you say? Most of the time, and when I was growing up. Exactly. So let me just ask you this one line question, and then we'll finish up our discussion for tonight. Joel, most of the time, and when you were growing up, you were made to feel as though you didn't have the answer, or you weren't smart, or you weren't allowed to show how smart you are, whatever area that came in, because I don't have you here. So we can't peel the layers back the way I'd like to show them how it's done in session. So I want to ask you this question. Let's just say that you didn't know. Let's just say you weren't right. What does that mean to you if you did not know something or you weren't right? What does that say to you? What's the story you tell yourself when you feel as though you don't know something or there's something about you that someone shares about you that you don't like? What is the story you tell yourself? Y'all bear with us. We're giving you a good taste of how it works here. Yep, other people are answering it for themselves too. That's really good. Yes, Brittany. That's why we got to get these phone lines tapped in. We got to be able to pull people in so y'all can really see how it works. I always used to shy away from everything because... Why did you shy away from everything? Come on, Susie. She's on it too. There you go, Gwyneth. Y'all are answering your truth tonight. Why would you shy away from everything, Joel? Maybe one night out of the two, we'll actually do live calls. We'll do live discussions. Yep, Carmen Figueroa's answering it because I couldn't find the right answer. Okay, bam. So just for the sake of time, I'm going to give you something and I want you to think about it. And you come back on when we come back on, or tomorrow night, or you and I can connect. And if you feel good enough, we can bring it to the audience. But this is what I want to ask you, because I couldn't find the right answer. What if, Joel, what if you couldn't find the right answer? What does that say about you to you? What if you couldn't find the right answer? What would that say to you about you? Because that's the core to the onion right there. What if? Yep, other people are answering it for themselves, Joelle. You're helping a lot of people tonight, sir. People are saying it would make them feel incapable. Just the constant fear of rejection and judgment for other people. Yes, yes, Arthur. And see, Lisa Palmer, you would be a good one as well, because your statement is really good right there. Candy said for her, it would be she's not good enough. Brought out memories. Well, I would try and always go and try to fit in where I didn't belong. But what if you didn't have the answer? What if that all was true? What if everything that you were accused of was true? What does that say about you to you? That's the fear that got you gripped right there. So I want you to confront that big fear you have that causes you to move in stubbornness. What if what they said was true? What if you weren't smart? What if you didn't know something about yourself? What if you didn't have all the answers? What would that say to you? Bear with us. I'm working with someone one-on-one. And whatever his answer is now is where we're going to stop tonight with that. And I'll just finish up this reading, which is only a paragraph, and we're still within our hour timeline. Even though some people are saying, please don't end it. Yeah, they're all answering good. That's the problem. that I would hold deep inside of me? What's the problem? Name it. Call it out, Joel. Call it out. What would that say to you? And then I'm going to ask you, whatever that is that you need to call out, I'm going to ask you, who said that to you? Because that's what has you right there. So the key is to become more secure. True security is attained by becoming more self-aware and more mindful. Before you can accept yourself as you are, you have to see yourself as you truly are. Therapists are trained and experienced in working with their clients' defenses. A skilled therapist can help you become more aware of your defenses, but at a pace that feels right for you. You can't simply get rid of your defenses in one fell swoop, like ripping off a Band-Aid. You can't do that in 30 days. A therapist can help you gently explore your defense patterns. That's what we're looking for, is patterns, leading you to evaluate certain areas in your life in which these patterns may be holding you back. The aim isn't to let go of all of your self-protective strategies. Rather, it's about making these strategies conscious. The goal is to intentionally decide when you need to protect yourself versus when it might be beneficial for you to remain more open and more vulnerable. That's our show for tonight. We're going to go. Joel, I look forward to hearing from you. They're going to put my contact information on the screen. I don't expect y'all to remember all of the emails and phone numbers, but if you always remember my name, Suzanne M. Howard, you can go to the website and you can contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Someone's going to respond to you. And also, I want to make sure that we pray for our dear sister Carmen. She shared that she lost her brother during these 30 days, and she's asked us for prayer as they prepare his homegoing service here in Connecticut. And let's keep her in prayer. Carmen, I don't know if you're on here tonight, but if you are, just give us a little wave or a praying hand emoji so we know that you're here. We can keep you lifted up in prayer so that God can continue to do this work that he's doing with you. Very good, Joel. Very good. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Are you ready for more of this? Can you imagine if we can rent a studio and we can have a small audience there and we can take questions right from the audience and begin to peel back some of these layers on this onion to give you all a starting place? This is what God has intended when he talks about healing and deliverance. Thank you, Lord. All right, on a 3, let's go ahead and pronounce a blessing on each and every one of us. 1, 2, 3, go. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you. Good night. Thank you for your time, your trust. Please continue to send in your offerings. It is such a blessing to us. It will get us studio time. It would get us to maybe show up in the state where you're located. Please do not hold back when you feel in your heart that this is a ministry that has blessed you. If these 30 days has blessed you, what would you sow into something that has put this much of effort and time and confidence in you? What is it that it's worth to you? Is it worth $1,000? Is it worth $100? Is it worth $5,000, but all you have is $50? Whatever it is that you have, please consider to sow and to give into this ministry. And if you don't have anything monetarily to sow, we would appreciate it if you would share this with 5 family members, if you would share it with 5 friends, so that we can be a blessing outside of the sphere that we've entered in these 30 days. We would appreciate it more than you can even imagine. And it is still my desire that by tomorrow night, we would still hit 1,000 YouTube followers. So if everyone on here just got one person to follow on YouTube, we would hit that mark. They don't have to hit the notification button. We don't have to show up in their notifications or their feed if they're not ready for us yet, because everybody's not ready for us yet. But if everyone on here got one person to follow on YouTube, we could hit that $1,000 mark by tomorrow night, that 1,000 number mark by tomorrow night that we were needing this whole time. I thank you all so much for your time, for your help, for your trust. God bless you. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you again. Remember to smile at somebody. It means a lot.
Let it